try this without the mic stand, see how this goes. It's been a hot summer, hasn't it? It's been hot and rainy and stuff like that. I remember one day a couple of weekends ago, it was really hot, and some of my neighbors decided to take advantage of the weather and, do some grilling outside. You could smell it through the whole neighborhood. Either that, or it was just so hot that a cow died, and smell it too. Oh, Jesus Christ! All right. They say that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and I think that explains why birds are always flying directly into my face. I'm going back to the security of the mic stand. So it's election season in like 16 months. So obviously there's a lot of political stuff going on, a lot of people trying to get their message out there, and I find the most compelling way to get your political message across is one of those silly little signs that you put in people's yards, which is why I am voting for We Do Metal Roofs. Fantasy football. I don't play fantasy football either. I play fantasy football. So I just pick a bunch of my friends, and depending on how well they're doing in their fantasy football leagues, I get some predetermined number of points. Ben and Derek, you guys are being key this season. It's amazing. Thank you very much. If I were playing with other people, I would feel so good right now. I'm not Amish. I'm missing my prop hat that delivers a lot better if I'm wearing my ridiculous, slightly Amish-looking hat. However, I also make the observation this evening that of all the other comics that have gone up so far, I'm like only in the third quartile of being Amish. Out of everybody else, yeah, I'm 3 out of 4. But it doesn't help that I think suspenders are way better than belts. I'm also not a great driver. As far as driving goes, I should have a left turn signal and a right turn signal and a big sign in my back window that says, "I'm so sorry." I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to a horse and buggy. I like woodworking. I mostly make furniture for my dogs. That's actually true. I built a bunk bed for my one dog, so he can stay at the same level as myself and my other dog who sleeps on the bed with me, and now you know way more about my sleeping habits than you probably wanted to. So my dogs, they kind of run my life. A person of my age would probably have, a prophylactic device in their wallet just in case, there's a lady. I don't. I have one of these. And I have them in multiple colors if you're kinky. It's funny, so the trope being in high school is if your parents catch you with a condom in your wallet, it's like, I keep it in case I'm at a party and a friend needs it. And I actually needed one of these for a friend who had their dog and pooped in the yard and he didn't have a bag with him, so I had to loan him one of my dog bags. So that happened. So it's speaking of dogs, you can get those different kinds of Monopoly board games. Like you can get Pittsburghopoly and there's Lewisburgopoly, and a friend of mine for Christmas one year got Dogopoly, which is I'm getting taller. I apparently had the Alice in Wonderland eat me thing, but so it's kind of an odd concept because you go and you land on Dachshund and you get Dachshund, and you land on Poodle and you get Poodle, and you land on Rottweiler, and it's like. I imagine there's some weird guy in a van, like in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, who says, "Hey, you want to buy a Rottweiler?" And then apparently you can charge rent for your Rottweiler. I don't even have any idea how that works. This summer I was very privileged to be the best man in my best friend from high school's wedding in the Outer Banks. So we were down there. It was a beautiful ceremony on this pier, and weather was great. It was all fantastic, and. While we were driving towards the ceremony, I was looking out the side window, and I was wearing contact lenses, which I don't often wear. I wear these ridiculously huge real glasses. And I saw a store on the side of the road that said, "Fish Retail Store." And I misread it as "Fish Rental Store," which is a ridiculous premise, but I'm going to explore it a little bit for you guys. So I sort of imagine that, you can go and you can get, 5 or 6 guppies, and you're entertained for the weekend, and there's the piranhas in the back, that creepy room that only the strange guy who smells kind of funny goes into. And so I thought about it, and it's like, well, what's the the modern video rental store? Yes, for those of you who are in here on a fake ID, there used to be a place where you could go and could rent video cassettes, or DVDs, and you would go and you would buy a physical thing that had a movie on it and go put it in a box, and it would play on your television. So obviously the analog to that is buying fish and getting fish and taking them home. But that obviously got supplanted by Netflix. Streaming your fish. You should be able to stream your fish online.
Get off the stage!
So you should be able to stream your fish online. And those of you who are still laughing, I appreciate that you followed this tenuous premise of something that happened to me in a faraway land with sand and it's something that I claim happened, and I'm telling you about it now, and it could very possibly be not true at all, and it's just the ridiculous ravings of a crazy person. And for those of you who are still following my story, I just have a hint for you. Don't take one of those Scientology tests. The whole thing is a scam. It's ridiculous. You seem to be the kind of people who would follow some ridiculous premise like that to its complete illogical, irrational conclusions. So just PSA for all you guys out there. I am colorblind. To be technically correct, I'm red-green color deficient, and technically correct is the best kind of correct. You may or may not know this, but your bartender, Ben, who I don't know where he went, is anosmic, or has anosmia to be politically correct about it. So together he and I form, 2/5 of a sensorily inconvenienced Voltron. Or Power Rangers for those of you who are slightly younger. And that's of course one job that I, as a color deficient person, cannot do, is Voltron pilot. Because, there's the red Voltron and there's the green Voltron, and I can't tell the difference. So I'll get in the red Voltron, and the guy who's actually supposed to be driving the red Voltron will come up and say, "Dude, you're in my Voltron." And it'll be super awkward, and of course we're all wearing spandex, which makes it all the more difficult. The final point is that, you think I'm red-green colorblind, and when I was in high school I would dress in all black, and I legitimately read a lot of Anne Rice novels, and so I had kind of the goth thing going when I was in high school, but in reality, yes, I'm colorblind and I can't dress myself. So that's the other point on that. So thank you, I'm Andrew Shaffer, good night.